Hello there, it's another beautiful Saturday morning and time to welcome you to this edition of Feminine Scope. The station is OGBC on 90.5 FM. Here, we invite strong ladies, women who are on top of their careers. They share their experiences with us so that the present generation can be motivated and they can also prepare themselves for any future challenges. My name is Toyin Sogbesan. You call me TS. Anyway, Oprah Winfrey once said, and I quote, "Life is about finding yourself, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, and being true to who you really are." This is why I'm featuring another strong woman today to tell us how she was able to find herself and become one of the achievers. My guest is Prof.Olufunke Rebecca Vincent, a professor of computer science specialized in artificial intelligence. Well, Professor Olufunke Rebecca Vincent is also the Vice President, Academia in Information Technology Profession in Nigeria. She is the head of Department of Cybersecurity and Data Science, Federal University of Agriculture, FUNAB, here in Abeokuta. Nice to have you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we want to know who Professor Funke Vincent is. Who were your parents? What was growing up really like for you? Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. My name is Olufunke Rebecca Vincent. I'm a professor of artificial intelligence. I was born in Abeokuta here some few years ago. The name of my parents are Prince Joseph Adebayo Oshaguno and Mrs. Oshaguno. I went to Ulumo Primary School, Sabo Lafenwa Abeokuta, and Army Children Primary School too. I also went to Premier Grammar School, where I graduated in 1991. From there, I did JAMB many times.
JAMB too.
And eventually, JAMB me to Federal College of Education, Oshiele.
Wow.
Where I read integrated science, double major. So I finished from there and I worked a little for about few months. I worked for 7 months. And when I was working, I realized that I can't be there. So I now apply for direct entry and where I gained admission to Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, to read mathematics.
Ew.
So reading mathematics, when we got to 300 level, we were given opportunity to choose options between mathematics, statistics, and computer science option. I chose computer science, and then I read computer science as an option. I graduated with mathematical sciences, computer science option.
Okay.
In the year 1999.
Okay.
After that, I started my master's. I also served in FUNAB, the Department of Mathematical Sciences.
Hey,
and when I finished my service, they had to call for me to come and resume work because I was in the laboratory attending to students, doing my bidding with what I know then. So when I finished my service in 2001, the student told the HOD that they really needed my services. Somebody was sent to me to come and call me to come and resume work. Although then I just was working without anything.
No remuneration.
And yes,
wow.
I was recommended for a job then. And that was how I joined the services of the Federal University of Agriculture in the year 2002. October 2002 as a system analyst.
Okay.
As a system analyst in the Department of Mathematical Science. So I was taking the practicals, attending to students, doing a lot of analysis and so on. Because the PG students, they were always coming to me for one help or the other. I also saw the reason that I have to put in for my MSc, which I did. I started my MSc there. MSc in Computer Science, and I finished in year 2005. I have seen the reason for very good education. Immediately I put in for my PhD. I started my PhD October 2005, and I finished in year 2010. Although during my PhD, I had opportunity to travel abroad to Germany to do my PhD field work. So it was a collaboration between my Germany Institute and then FUNAB then. Okay. I later came back to defend my PhD in 2010, May 2010. And then when I finished my master's, I wrote for a change of placement. So I was given assistant lecturer, and then since then I rose through the cadre, and now I'm a professor. Wow. I became a professor in year 2020, October 2020.
10 years after your PhD.
10 years after my PhD.
Wow, I just love the way you chronicled everything. But then I want to take us back, because I want this generation to learn from your own experience.
Thank you.
You were born, bred, buttered, everything in Abeokuta.
Yes.
Everything in Abeokuta.
Everything in Abeokuta.
Except when you left for Germany.
Except, yes, when I left for Germany and some other countries.
I see. You went to a public primary school.
Yes.
You went to a public secondary school. Olumo Primary School, Premier Grammar School. And you also went to a public college of education and a public university. And here you are, a professor. Let's look at it. These days, people believe that, it's only children that go to private schools that can make it and all that. Your own little experience, can you share with us? Why were you so determined that you have to keep going, despite being jammed? How many times did you write jam?
I wrote jam about 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah.
And after the 3rd attempt, you still went back to the College of Education.
To the College of Education,
what a journey. Okay, now let us into it. Your experience in public schools.
In those days, maybe we were not aware, but I don't think there were so much private, either primary school or secondary school. I don't also think that maybe 1 or 2 private university then. So we didn't really have any thought of going to private schools. But now we have private schools in all our corners of our environment. What I see about the public school is that if you are able to go to the public school, Nigerian public school, you would have been groomed to face Nigerian challenges. It is not as rosy as we have in a private institution. So what I believe is that any student that is able to pass through the 4 corners of the public, either primary school, secondary school, or university, is prepared to face the challenges of Nigeria. So you can see that people are well prepared in terms of mental health, intellectual ability to face environmental challenges. That is what you see in a public institution. However, I am not saying that public institution is better than private institution, but what I am saying is that those who went to public school, they are mentally prepared to face the future in a better way.
Oh, I see. You grew up in Abeokuta all through. Did you not think that you were missing on some other city life, like going to Lagos, growing up in Ibadan? You didn't even feel, I want to go out of this Abeokuta?
Yeah, when I was young.
Even up till now, you are still in Abeokuta. Is that not so?
Yeah. When I was young.
For 50-something years. Hey, Prof. Okay.
My dad stayed in Lagos. Okay. My dad worked with Nigerian Railway Corporation for 37 years, 2 years training, and then 35 years, and he retired. So he was posted to Lagos. So at the earlier stage, we were moved to Lagos, and then we came back to Abeokuta. After so much posting, my dad decided to establish my mom in Abeokuta. So that was why we had to stay in Abeokuta.
So how many were you?
It's very interesting. We were 10.
10
children from the same mother.
Your mom had 10 of you?
10
Why?
Of us. I don't know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
Hey, your mommy tried.
And I'm number 6. Number 6 born of the family.
How many boys? How many girls?
We have 3 boys, 7 girls.
Hey. I can imagine. So what was growing up like with your siblings? 10 from your mom.
Yes, it was very interesting. And then after some time, when my dad retired, he retired in 1991. When I just came out from secondary school, we saw the diversity of life a bit after he retired. Life was becoming a little challenging after my dad retired. So we learned, but my mom was a very good businesswoman. So we have to change to moving to going to our mom's shop every day to make sure we get something extra. And I find it very interesting. And in fact, a time came that my mom was not really agitating for me to go to school again, because anytime I go to the shop, when they say they don't sell, I say, why won't you sell? Anytime I enter that shop, you must sell. And anytime I go to the shop, customers will always come. So a time came that my mom was even preferring that I should been helping her to stay in the shop, but I really want to go to school. I wanted to go to school. I know what I wanted, and I went for it.
So growing up was a little bit challenging after your dad retired. Yes. What happened to the other siblings after? Because you were number 6. That means you had 4 others. Did you have the opportunity of maybe taking one?
Yeah, our last born. Okay. Our last born, a few months before my dad died, he called me and my husband that he will prefer that our last born stay with us. That was about 4 months after our wedding. So we just went back to greet dad, and he told us 3 things. One of it was that he will want our last born to stay with us because he wants her to be educated. And to the glory of God, we took her in the year 2002. She did diploma, and then she also graduated from FUNAP. She's a graduate and married, and she's living well.
She's married too.
She's married.
Oh, beautiful. Well. That was very thoughtful of you. Did any of her elder siblings have the opportunity of taking some of you to assist? Maybe in terms of school fees, payments, and all that?
Yes. Some of my, elders, they also supported in some other siblings. They also supported in one way or the other.
Right. The program is Feminine Scope on OGBC 90.5 FM. And my guest is Professor Olufunke Rebecca Vincent, a professor of computer science specialized in artificial intelligence. She's also the Vice President, Academia in Information Technology Profession, Nigeria. She is the head of Department of Cybersecurity and Data Science, Federal University of Agriculture. I'll take you a little bit on your profession, and that is this artificial intelligence. You can't come on this program and me not talking about AI. It's all about AI. So what is it really about, and how are we making use of it, either negatively or positively in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Artificial intelligence has to do with developing machines to mimic the activities of human being. It starts to do with add some hardware and then also software to help human being in establishing some routines that human being ought to have done. So artificial intelligence have come to stay because we can see that in the days of networking, let me take you back to the history of computer science. The computer science history is done in generations. We have the first generation, second generation, third. And then in the third generation is where we have some processing, we have some spooling, that is programs are sent to different devices, especially printer and other devices in batches. And then the fourth generation of computer system is network and internet. But networking of computers, because after the involvement of computer system, it was discovered that there will be need to share information across computer systems. And then we have computer networks and computer and the internet. Now, the fifth generation of computer is the evolution of the artificial intelligence.
That's where we are now.
That is where some developed countries are now. We are looking at it. We are seeing the shadow in Africa and them in Nigeria. I do not believe that we have gotten there now. And the sixth generation of computer system is talking about quantum computing. One thing will be leading to another. So in Nigeria now, we are already receiving the breeze, the waves of artificial intelligence. So we are talking about it, and then we are making use of it in a little way. But in some developed countries, they are already in using artificial intelligence.
In what ways are we making use of such in Nigeria as we speak? Because you said there are some routines. So what are the routines that are readily available? When we go to the internet, we see people putting voice in what I've not said, and my mouth will still be moving as if I'm the one saying it. So what are some of the examples that you can cite for us? Yes.
Thank God for COVID-19 in year 2020.
We should thank God for COVID-19.
COVID-19 in 2020, it is then that we in Nigeria and in some part of Africa, we accepted the adoption and the utilization of what we call artificial intelligence. When we are talking about virtual reality and then online meetings and so on and so forth. You know, in those days before year 2020, if you say you want to work from home, it looked like a bizarre thing. You know, people will look at you that, what are you talking about? If you even say you want to have a meeting, a virtual meeting before 2020, in Nigeria, people look at you, you must come. People believe if you are coming from Abeokuta, just to have a 5-minute meeting, you have to go to Abeokuta, from Abeokuta to Abuja. But these days, we can now have virtual meetings, virtual lectures, virtual training, you know, if you want to have a
even
workshop.
court proceedings.
Yes.
Some are done virtually.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to have a workshop, people will tell you, no, the workshop cannot be real if you are not coming physical. And then we expose ourselves to dangers on the road, insecurity, and so on and so forth. But when the COVID-19 came in the year 2020, people were forced. I wrote a paper, how COVID-19 forced Africans to adopt virtual reality and artificial intelligence in year 2021. People were forced because as at that time we had no other options than to go and accept the options that were given to us. And that is everything virtual, that everybody has to stay at home. So I can say that we have started using artificial intelligence, but not in the whole involvement. You understand? Having some systems like in the healthcare now, we have started what we call a computerization of our healthcare system, that you do not need to see a doctor before you would know what is wrong with you, and then before you can do some first aid and treatment for yourself. So we have started using that. And also in the education industry now, we have started using artificial intelligence. If you come to some of our classes now, we are making use of all kinds of devices to make sure that we explain our procedure to our students, and then they know what we are talking about.
Thank you so much. Even though my producer is beckoning at me, but there's a very important area that I want us to talk about, and that is the banking sector. How is it affecting the banking sector? Because unlike before, you discover that people's monies and all that, people are skeptical, they are scared about the way banking operations are today. Can AI assist us?
The banking sector have started using artificial intelligence. You can see that the banking system, their delivery is better. Apart from the recent happening this year, the banking system have been delivering better than what we used to have 10 years ago.
But would that not affect human beings? This AI, for instance, machines, computers will take over the jobs of
that is what we think, but I don't think so.
Many will be out of job.
We are in a we have to just move with the world. Everybody has to go in the way of IT learning. You might not need to come and read computer science BSc, but getting yourself involved in some of all these trainings to get yourself aligned with what is going on in the world, so that you can know everybody, every worker now supposed to be an IT inclined worker.
Thank you so much. Even though this program is not about the lecture I'm trying to put you through, but I'd like to know who your husband is.
My husband is Professor Rebecca Vincent.
Professor and professor.
Yeah.
How did you meet him? I know it must be.
Yeah, we went to the same secondary school together, though we didn't know each other.
Are you serious? Premier Grammar School?
Premier Grammar School. He was the president of our fellowship. Then I was the prayer secretary. Some few years later, we also met again, and I just discovered that there is something in him. This man, and that was how we along.
Okay, who made the first move? You saw it in him. Who made the first move?
He, of course.
He, of course. Yes. I don't say of course. You said this is AI time, so anything can happen. If you like a man, if you like a man, there's a way. Not verbal, there's a way the woman will show the man that,
No, not really.
Not really.
When I cited him, I didn't really like him at the first instance because being an Igbo man, and some things that we have had when we were young, I didn't really, but I just discovered that there is something about him. Anytime I see him, I was always having that there is something about this woman that I would like to investigate about.
So how has the cross culture helped in your marriage?
Very challenging. Very challenging because of the society, but we are good.
Your children have Igbo and Yoruba names.
Yes, our children have Igbo and Yoruba
names.
Yes.
Do you speak Igbo?
No.
Does he speak Yoruba?
He speaks Yoruba.
Okay, of course he's schooled here, so he will speak Yoruba. That's great. So I want your words of advice for this generation. You're a mother, you are a lecturer. You see these students in school. I want you to talk to them. This Gen Z.
What I just
Gen Z. Yes,
want to say about this present generation is that the youths, they should try to learn work. They should learn something. What I mean by learning work, I'm not saying that you must be an artisan going to, but you must be able to do something.
In terms of vocation?
In terms of vocation.
Okay.
Like computer science, apart from reading computer science, BSc, it's also a trading work. It's something you can exercise yourself. So if you don't even go to university and you learn something about programming, graphics and design, you can make waves. All these social media, comedy, what other things and people do to get money over the social media, I don't think it's going to last. So I'm encouraging the younger ones to do something that can last. Because what you know, I don't think it's something that will last. I don't think it's something that can help our nation. I don't think it's something that can help.
Why do you say that?
Because
youths are moving towards all these TikToks, Instagram.
I don't think it's something that can develop our nation. We should do something that can develop our nation. Something that can develop our nation in terms of work, being a professional in what you do. If you look at India and China, they train their youth from the infants on how to do some things, and you can see that many of them are not involved in all this social media presentation or doing and we should focus on something that can develop our nation. Our nation can be able to also lift our shoulder, among all other nations. So that is what I've seen in the present youth generation, that I feel
they are just creating content.
Creating content is good. Like I am a professional. I can be creating content now.
And be making money for yourself.
And be making money for myself.
But with that
but if you call yourself a youth, and then what you know is just to create content, I will ask a question: how will that help this nation from where we are now?
Some of them will say, "Who Nigeria help?"
No, it is not about Nigeria. Okay. It is about yourself. It is about what you know. I told you that when I was serving, I just knew a little. I was writing Pascal and COBOL, and I was using SPSS and Excel to do analysis. And it was because of that I had to be called back to come and resume, to come and start helping the students, even without any interview or whatever. I later did apply later and did an interview later. If I didn't know anything, if it's just about creating content online, how are we going to help this nation?
Thank you so much for finding time to be with us. Due party, Prof?
Not really.
It's book for you people.
Not just that, I don't believe in I will go and spend my whole day somewhere, spending the whole of the day.
So how do you unwind?
Yes, presently I'm the chairman of Nigerian Computer Society Ogun State.
You say book matter. Okay, one.
Not just book matter, it's an association.
And what
it's an association. We do a lot of things. We do a lot
socials.
Yes.
Okay, your party. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, how do you unwind? Church.
I'm also a church person. I interpret for my church.
Okay.
Yeah. But I choose type of party I go to. For you to have my whole day in a party, you must be very
special. Before you can. So what type of music do you like? listening to?
Yeah, I was looking for a music. This man, Le Dipo, we call him Pope.
Yes.
Okay. I was with him 1991, 1992. We were singing with him. But
are you serious?
Yes.
You were singing with Le Pope?
Yes.
Wow. What type of song? Can you recollect?
I cannot recollect now, but we were having our practice at Ijaye Garage.
With him?
Yes, with him. Around 1991, I was a member of a choral group in Premier Grammar School. So some of us were introduced to join in. I later opted out because I couldn't cope with the stress of the practice. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have to do night vigil, we sing till morning, and it was much. I wanted to go to school, and I was doing jump and WAEC, and so I would like his music.
Which one?
He says, Ishe, Shimura Sishe. Yes.
Ishe, oh. Iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni gíga, múra ọ̀rẹ́ mi.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká múra sí iṣẹ́ wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká múra sí iṣẹ́ wa. Ṣiṣẹ́ o, ṣiṣẹ́ o, ṣiṣẹ́ o, ṣiṣẹ́ o. Ara mi gbọ́ sétí o. Ó tọ́ ká múra, iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni gíga, múra ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ẹ jẹ́ ká múra sí iṣẹ́ o, ẹ jẹ́ ká múra sí iṣẹ́ wa. Ṣiṣẹ́ o, ara mi gbọ́ sétí o, ó tọ́ ká wá múra, iṣẹ́ la fi ń dẹni gíga o, múra ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ẹ jẹ́ ká múra sí iṣẹ́ wa, ẹ jẹ́ ká múra sí iṣẹ́ o.
Thank you so much for finding time to
thank
be on
you.
this program. I wish you the very best. AI, artificial intelligence. It's not too late for me to learn.
No, it's not. Learning is not too late for anybody. But I'm talking about the practice. You know, the when you want to put it in practice as a professional now.
No. It's rather getting. Let me leave that for my producers. They are the next generation. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Our regards to Professor Vincent.
And thank you.
So this is how far we'll go on today's edition of Feminine Scope on OGBC 90.5 FM. I thank my guest again, Professor Olufunke Rebecca Vincent, Professor of Computer Science, specialized in Artificial Intelligence. She is the Vice President, Academia in Information Technology Profession, Nigeria. She's also the head of Department of Cybersecurity and Data Science, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, FUNAB. I thank my producer, Temilade Tijani, assisted by Fumilayo Akintoye. My studio manager is Samuel Adeneye. My name is Toyin Sogbesan, TS. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good morning.